Kathy Vick, Deeply Awake. Well, it's been a time of labor and focus and recovery. And then I had something happen that triggered a change. It's funny to me because I have always, that I have, pondered on it. I've thought that fevers, for me, I'm not talking about anybody else, but for me, they are really significant. And I will sometimes just have a febrile illness. Sometimes it lasts several days. And, it's obviously, you chalk it up to a flu. That's what happened to me on Thursday evening. I mean, it came on suddenly, and it was elicited. It was a reaction, but the event was appropriate and on request, I would say, in that I just went to bed maybe about 6 o'clock on Friday night feeling really bad, having to cancel something. I mean, Thursday night, having to make a decision between performing in the choir for the rest of the season or going home to bed. And I chose the bed. I didn't feel good. My body was racked in pain, and I just physically didn't feel well. And got home and was sick, and then I went to sleep. And then I woke up at 3, and my fever was really high. And I run really low. So it's a big deal. And I've always just seen it as an upgrade. Always. It's my body adjusting to more light, more energy. I can't imagine it being anything else. The illness is just secondary. So then I go to a Cryon event, and I think it's Greg Braden who's saying that having a high fever is a way that the body self-regulates, because of course the body's part of Gaia, and is aware of what lower vibrational things are out there, what viruses and such. And it's said that when you vibrate high enough, or you have a high enough amperage or whatever, that you can't get sick from bacteria, because it's not a vibrational match. It's not possible to be infected. And I understand why now, because it just is. It's a trigger. So fine, it's a trigger. But a trigger doesn't really have to be a virus. In my case, the last 2 times I've had a febrile illness, it's been because of an interpersonal transaction. Both times. But I mean, right then, boom. Okay, well, I was overwhelmed with information and with duality. Duality was really thick, and I was just feverish. And I slept, and I've had my fill of Netflix. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I could. Well, I do. I want to watch a little bit more 30 Rock, but maybe not today. But so I look at this very magically, and it's just one of those things. So what it's come to, though, is this very interesting concept that I've been having, and it's had to do with male and female. It's had to do with gay and straight. It's been having to do with single and married, or single and partnered. It's been a really, really thick time for looking at boundaries and looking at expression, as well as well, I really feel like I've switched orientations. I feel like there was a physical push that I've been working up for and have been readying for, but this felt like a solidification. I've talked a couple times about feeling like I popped a membrane, and I did, but I do feel like that was kind of gelatinous. And I know this is all, funny, maybe terminology, but there's some wiggle room. And this feels like it's much clearer now. What is it? It feels like an energetic orientation. It's the best way for me to explain it. I kept getting the image of, and I was looking at the patriarchy and finding really the only relief I had during this time was considering the Great Mother. When I thought of Mother energy, I got calm right away. But, I don't know what's going on in the GP right now. But given how I feel, I would imagine that, there are a lot of spikes. There's a lot of highs and lows. There's a lot of fear, trepidation for the future, anger, suspicion, and already I can feel it clamping down on speech. I already can feel that. And I'm really at a place now where I trust this stuff because I modulate it all through the Bush administrations and just sort of felt it through. And and what I mean by it is the consciousness. And I don't mean what's on the news. That's not the consciousness. So anyhow, that came up too, I mean, the male-female, husband-wife, man-woman thing is sort of a big deal right now. I'm really proud of my sister. She and some friends are going to go to the Million Mom March on Washington. And it moves me to tears because it's a big deal. That's a big commitment of time, of money, and, of possible arrest. And it has to be done. And who's doing it? Women. So it's kind of been a time of feeling like I'm coming into my own as a human being. And maybe what this was the combination or the final integration of male and female within me. I mean, I talked about this weird kind of beautiful vision I had, Christmas, outside of my dad's house. I was very sad, as I always am at Christmas, not having a partner. But Jerry was there. Jerry's always there. So I have a partner, but still feeling alone, just that whiny, wah. Well, I was missing a part of myself, I think. And I went outside and I thought to myself, what would I want from a partner? What do I really want from a mate? Someone who will listen to what it is that I feel is correct and right and true, and honor that, because they understand that I'm coming from my heart. And if they can't honor that, they talk about it. And there's no screaming and yelling, it's just a discussion. But my vision and my intuition is honored. And then someone who has strength and power and love, and the ability to labor in a way that I may not be able to, we come together and form a unit. So I'm thinking to myself outside as I'm smoking that Christmas Eve, crying, well, heck, I think what I've been missing is that male part of myself who says, your wish is my command. As you wish. As you wish. And being devoid of that in my real life. Always having to fight for every scrap. It's not been a pleasant thing, and I that's what I'm done with. Whew, I'll tell you that. So this energetic change, part of it is, I've been thinking about boundaries. I've been thinking about yeses and nos. And I've been thinking about this concept of just saying, that may be completely acceptable and normal and desirable for you. I find it something I can't engage in. So you do it again, I'm out of here. Well, if they've done it once, they're going to do it again. That's where they're at. Some people do things that I think are unthinkable. Just unthinkable. Wow. I mean, it's shocking to me sometimes what people say to each other, say to me, think they can do. And that's what I wanted to name this, is this nuclear thing in me. I don't know what it is, but it's like, so I'm thinking, well, maybe if I were more easy and open with my yeses and nos, and not made it into a good bad thing, but just it's not good for me, it's not bad for, that's not good for me, this is good for me, and framing it like that, well, maybe the nuclear portion of it would sort of ease up a little bit, but I'm not so sure. Because anymore, it's really becoming more and more obvious where people are at, and what I like and what I don't like. And that's about the last week or so, ever since the Trump thing. It's like, oh, I remember this. Shit, yeah, I remember this. In my teens and 20s, you bet. Taking a look around at my peers and realizing, holy mother of God, we've got nothing in common. Wow. And the stuff that I'm interested in, they would kind of give the stink eye at. The stuff that they like, I'm expected also to like, but because those are cultural norms, or within some sort of weird agreement that becomes sort of a social thing that is then sometimes amplified in movies or what have you. But ways of communicating with one another, ways of behaving, ways of expecting. So it's not really that often that I come across behavior or something that is just like, wow, no, that will never be okay. But once in a while. And it's not honoring that's the problem. That's really the problem. Just not honoring that. Not honoring myself. Because I'm allowed to have my comfort zone. And it doesn't have to be anybody else's. And it's something that I've had to kind of play with my whole life. I know when I feel my best and my most normal. And it's not with what other people call the normal world. I'm really most comfortable in metaphysical pursuits and healing pursuits and in friendships. And so anyway, I could sing the lament of an artist who has to sing for her supper, but that's all of us right now. And that's that oppression that I find it really hard to shake off sometimes of, we can expect even more difficulties now. more financial hardships now. The greed is going to just become so rampant. And even, I think, the upper middle management people are going to start getting squeezed. When that happens, then there might be revolt. When the really, really, really greedy 1% start putting the screws to their minions. Yeah. Not the government, but, like in corporations. When upper middle management starts getting the squeeze and starts not getting their raises and their bonuses quite as much, and it may take some time, maybe not. But yeah, this is greedorama. And yeah, it's going to be quite the shit show, I think. And I don't have very many worries, but I'm still. If you think I'm okay with it, then you would be wrong. And I'm really not okay with this. Is everything in divine order? Holy shit, yeah. Was everything in divine order during the Holocaust? Yeah. Could it have been avoided had we acted differently toward each other? Had we held our consciousness differently? Yeah. See where I'm getting? It's about how everyone is holding themselves, what they are thinking about themselves and each other, individually and en masse. It just gets down to that. And there's some shit I just am not okay with, and I'm never going to be okay with. And a lot of it is, I just can't do crudity. I'm not. There has to be some wit to crudity. And misogyny, there's so much misogyny. And it's really very, very hidden. It's very, you have to look, you don't have to look for it. You just have to know what you're looking for. You have to be a woman. So, we're going to get to fight against that. And fight we shall. And shame we shall. I feel like this is a bunch of overgrown toddlers, male toddlers, who are really just little shits. And they really have been put in charge of way too much. And their mom and dad finally woke up. That's how I feel about this. It's just shocking to me what the proposed government's going to be. And it's just appalling and embarrassing and scary. After seeing Brexit and just the whole thing, it just is. And we're not using the word fascist. And I think we should. This is a fascistic government. It's not democratic. And I'm not convinced it was that this man was democratically voted in. So, for now, I'm just not going to be worrying about camps and trucks and midnight knocks and trouble. I'm not going to play that way. So, it was funny though. A couple times the teacher said that I have been not struggling, but I've been working in relative isolation, or they used a different word, and explained that it was purposeful, and it's just not the safest place to be. America's not the safest place to be if you think outside the box. I don't think that's entirely true, but I don't have a problem talking about how I see things, not only in spiritual terms, but in socio-political terms and historical terms. I don't think that makes me anything but a well-informed channeler who, that's an interest of mine. history, psychology, geopolitics. Always. I mean, you kind of have to have I always thought it's important to stay culturally relevant. I'm beginning to realize that I don't want to be culturally relevant anymore. And I'm going to start disengaging from that as being a value of mine. It used to be a very high value. But I think that I can write about things that I just don't have a lot of... I don't value what this culture has become and how blind we are. And so I don't care if I'm culturally relevant. It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck about fitting in anymore. That's one of the things that has really come through. I can remember, really well, when needing approval or wanting approval, I think that everybody needs that and wants that to some degree. We all feel better when we know that we're liked and regarded highly by the people around us, right? But if they don't really regard us very highly, then the next best thing is not for them to say they do when they really don't. The next best thing is finding people who value you more and you value more. Hello. And so I mean, I just think the whole thing, just the whole thing. So I'm pretty excited. I've got a happy day ahead, and I feel better. I spent most of the night and all of the night and all of the day and most of the night sleeping and sweating and really feeling crappy. And but I like that feeling too. I don't know how to explain it. Just like knowing that you've hit a wall. That's how I feel. I feel like I know I've hit a wall. It's like, it's just, my body is spent. My mind is putty. My soul has exited. It's mute. And I keep trying to, into my heart. I didn't get very far. And when I do all of those things and there's nothing happening, it's time to sleep. And so yeah, it was like that. And so I feel more like I'm all together now again. My fever's gone. And I'm very glad. I'm so relieved. I had such important plans on Friday night that I had to cancel. Well, first I was saying, no, I don't think I can do it. Then midday, hey, I think I can do it. My fever's gone. I feel great. And then by about 2:45, holy fuck, I feel like shit. There's no way I can do this. You have no idea how important this is to me, but I can't do it. That was my Friday. I kept thinking I could do it. I could get better. No. So I think I drank 10 Pepsis and a couple gallons of water, and I'm so hungry and I have no desire to eat. And it's the same gut things that I had when I was just really at the beginning of my thing. So it's all the same markers. You can call it the flu, that's fine. And you can mandate by law that I get a flu shot to ward off another one of these, but if I need to have an upgrade, I'm going to have an upgrade. But the last one was in, I think, 2014. And so, and that was like, I don't know, it was a long time. It was either 3 or 5 days. But there was a lot of shit that was going to be coming down. I'm glad I did it. It was a good thing. I was preparing for the Buran time and that whole change. But this was really significant, and the timing was significant too. The timing was super significant. So it was completely covered. Everything's cool. But I check in because what I'm left with is that it's about the mother and me and mother, and about my that kind of love. It's genuine, and it doesn't take any shit. And it's not defensive, but please no. Don't even try. No. There's, here's the deal. To close, there's a reason why it's really hard to quit drinking if you're a heavy drinker and you spend a lot of time in bars and shit. There's a reason it's really hard to get off drugs if you spend a lot of time around dealers and users and stuff. Why? Because that's your support system. Not only the people, but the substance. It's reliable, predictable, and you come to forgive any of the punishment it gives you because the reward is so high, e.g. alcohol. But there are people surrounding that too, right? The liquor store guy, your dealer, whatever. The people you get stoned with, whatever. The people that you hang out with, the people who would tolerate that kind of bullshit behavior. Basically, people who are doing the same kind of behavior. I'm saying it's bullshit, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Who is that for me to say? But having, been a kind of a drunk, I never was a barfly, though, and I could see why it would be really hard because you have to leave all your friends and learn brand new coping strategies and put yourself in brand new situations, which might be a little bit more challenging. So some people graduate to the AA thing and that becomes their bar. Well, good. And then some people go out into the world and, live. And, I don't know, I kind of, it's there for when you need it. And it makes you do ridiculous things. And either it's going to kill you or you're going to stop doing it. One of the two. Or you're going to be able to manage it. But it's a toxin. It is a neurotoxin. So, enjoy that. It's you're drinking poison. And it's not the same with cannabis because it's not the same thing. But it's a very nice pastime. And it keeps you in the lower agreement field. La la! I talked about that in a little video called Intoxicants. That's its job. To keep you angry, keep you suspicious, keep you lustful, keep you doing the things that, are messy and karmic. It's nice once in a while, in moderation, you better believe it. But it's funny how few people can keep it in moderation, and and it's very funny how very few people have never had an embarrassing thing happen to them while drinking alcohol. So, the thing is that you've got to say goodbye to to how you've expressed, and to people who you have gotten stuff from that you needed. And I do hold to the model that addiction is because there's a lack of connection. It just makes sense. It's being disconnected. And it explains why, a lot of people with anxiety and who are dissociative and things like that are pill heads and addicts of other kinds, and how so many people who are bipolar are drinkers. And they kind of go together. It's a connection issue. So the question is, who are you needing the connection to? Take a look around your environment. How many people do you have in your life who are who you really love? I'm blessed. I have a lot of people I really love, and I love them because they have integrity. They're honest, and they have got something. And that's what I'm looking for. Just It's there, it isn't. And if it is wonderful, it doesn't mean anything. It just is nice. So, the problem is that it's not a problem. It's just that, take some time away from use or from a bad habit or whatever. 5 years after you've stopped smoking or whatever, or stopped drinking or whatever it is that you've done that you found maladaptive, and see who you're hanging out with. Are they the same people? Are they self-destructive? Are they what are they like? Because you are who you hang out with. They are sort of your representatives. What are they like? And are they the same kind of people? And are you the same person you were 5 years ago? And do you like yourself more? Do you like what you've become? Or have you gotten smaller? And I've never found myself to have... at times, there are times when I feel like I'm just slipping away, and I need to reassert myself and commit. But I think that's part of my Pisces nature, where I just, I can go off and float and not be very physical and be totally happy with that, and then realize, oh wait, I am physical, there are some things that need to be done here, but what I'm trying to get at is that there comes a time, I would think, even in a barfly's life, where even the thought of walking into a seedy ass bar is just like, it's not you, it's not a thought. Yes, seedy bars exist, you bet, but I shan't be visiting or thinking on one today. Thank you. I mean, that's the point, and that's the point that's been really, really big, and I have not mentioned it because I thought it's so obvious, but I mean, we have in our lives what we resonate with, and we don't see what it is we don't resonate with. That's the idea behind this dimensional shift. That's what they talk about with the 5D versus 3D, and how, the new Earth, there's going to be a new Earth with all the happy, shiny people, and all the fucktards are going to be on a different planet that's okay but not as great as ours. Ew. But the idea behind it is, that's just like, obviously we're going to have to make those sort of myths because that's where our dumbass consciousness is at. But the bottom line is, it's just like orbits. Consider the solar system. Is Earth on the same orbit as Venus? No, they aren't. They're on different orbits. And if you can use that model as the model for consciousness shifts or dimensional shifts within human beings, the kind of dimensions or consciousness that is available within a human being. It's said that the bigger you get, the more you can contain. So you contain all of the big and then all the way down to the little, yes. So you can relate to everything that has come before, plus, right? So if you're Pluto, you're able to see all the way, poop, 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 to the sun. And the Earth, sure, you can see to the sun and you can see that way. But you see what I'm saying? And the other is that Pluto is not Earth, and Earth is not Pluto. And it seems a bit retarded to think that if Pluto isn't the Earth, it's not a really good planet. So, I'm preaching self-acceptance here, of course, but I'm also talking about this membrane, this solidification, this nuclear thing, just this shift. It's so cute trying to breathe into my heart. But the only thing that made me feel okay was Mama. And that's what came through in the shower when I finally showered this morning and washed off all the sick and all the sweat and all the distress and all the change. Is that, Mama. Being loved by a mother who knows how to love, and whose love is constant and true and always provides. And I'm not that kind of mother. I wish I were, but I guess I judge myself too harshly, but I know the kind of mom I want to be, because I have that kind of mom in my heart and in my body and in my energies, in my fields, and in my mind, in my soul. It was hard when I was sick, because I didn't channel. I didn't have any hallucinations. I didn't have any visions. I didn't have any talking to. No, it's like they were absent. They do that from time to time, and Cryon has talked about it. Others do too. That your energetic team or whatever, it's just your soul, dude. It's I don't like calling it the higher self, because that implies that this thing right here in front of you is lower, and honey, I ain't that. I am an expression of my soul. One expression. One out of many, 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 many. But it's the only one that I'm able to say, do, and manipulate and make speak. So it's pretty important to me. And as I change and grow, my communication with my soul changes and grows and gets better, clearer. And if I have to go through an upgrade once in a while that involves a febrile illness, then I guess I will be okay with that. It was fine. And I'm ready. I'm ready for my fun day. I'm hoping it's going to be fun. I'll make it fun, so of course it's going to be fun. All right, that's all I have to say. It's a lot, and I'm really actually quite pleased I did this. I hope that it meets your approval. And if it doesn't, love me anyway. Okay? Okay. Thanks.